into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tier 1 Men's Championship of this year's NHBT. This has been an unbelievable tournament, and this is what it's all for. The Columbia team versus the Princeton team. On the mic, Nathan Weeder alongside Izzy Falk. How are you doing today, Izzy?
Well, I'll tell you, Nathan, it's been an amazing weekend of basketball, and I am absolutely stoked to be here for the Men's Tier 1 Championship. Obviously, we've seen a lot of games coming into this. Columbia has been on a tear. I don't think they've won a game by, less than 20? So, they're definitely the favorites coming in here. I don't know if you heard us speaking before the game, but we're thinking an 11.5-point spread would be a fair spread to give as they announce the starting lineups. So we'll see what happens. It's a scrappy underdog Princeton team. We've seen underdog Princeton teams go far, as you'll remember from last year's March Madness. So, this is the real March Madness.
NHBT is more madness than you can ever need in March Madness. Let me tell you about this Princeton team. You might think that they're the underdogs, but they had a path to get here that was unmatched, and here they are. They're ready to fight. They understand that they're underdogs, and they're ready to take advantage of it. They have Matt Drapkin averaging close to 15 points per game, ready to attack, and I think that's going to be one of the keys to the game, is they're shooting and taking out Columbia's down low play. Columbia's strong, physical. Princeton, more of a shooting team. They need to be able to match the physicality of Columbia down low while hitting shots outside the key for Princeton.
Well, I'll tell you, Doug, we came out here expecting Princeton to be a pretty good shooting team, but don't discount big man Weber. That guy can play. He's been good all tournament. We watched him play in the semifinal against University of Georgia, and he was great. He'll be a force, and we've seen Columbia. We know they've got bigs. Former Brandeis big man Jesse Spear. If his parents are watching, thank you for hosting me for Jonah Weinstock's bar mitzvah about 7 years ago. It was an absolute pleasure, but it's been a real pleasure to watch Jesse this tournament. He's averaging, I don't know what he's averaging, I can look it up, but it's been pretty incredible. Guard Eric Adler, he's an incredible shooter. We saw him last game, played his high school ball at SAR, but he saw him last game, I think he hit 6 threes in the first half. That's going to come into play. And then obviously you got Caleb Holzhauer. He's an incredible player. And then out of Deal, New Jersey, played his high school ball for the Hillel Heat, Andrew Stein. Watch him get a couple minutes.
Can't wait for that. Don't forget about Lishi Baker on the bench either, a dominant ball player.
Lishi Baker, Ada Hay, League's legend.
Jesse Spear, thing to look out for, he was wearing a brace on his arm, on his hand earlier. Asked him about it, said nothing to worry about, just some minor scratches, but we will see if that actually comes into play.
We will see. That we will see, Doug, as Princeton loses the ball out of bounds off the opening tip, and Columbia will be for the inbound. Something to watch on these Columbia inbounds. I saw them practicing some inbound plays before the game. Brought out the coach of the Columbia women's basketball team to coach them. So should be cool to see them run some sets. And if I'm maybe one of the women's teams in the Ivy League, I'm going to watch some of these sets to see if I can get to the inside scoop.
And listen, we've seen coaches come in here before, but we've never seen real coaches come here before. Really cool of Columbia to fly out their women's basketball coach to come coach them in this tournament. Meanwhile, for three, Princeton,
Cohen.
just
That's
like that, William Cohen, their main three-point shooter, drills a three for an early 3-0 lead.
And I'll tell you, this guy Cohen shot the lights out in the semifinals. Look for him to keep that hot streak going into the afternoon today.
And they're going to need that against this very physical, very athletic Columbia team. Has great defense there by Princeton. Cohen gets the steal. Princeton brings it down, top of the key, the ball. Brings it to the wing, attacks inside. Floater's in. Cohen with the bank in for 2. 5-0.
We've got an early lead for Princeton here, but they can't get comfortable.
No, they
This is
cannot.
a tough Columbia team. And, in this Ivy League matchup, and, that's a storyline we'll get to. It's a tough team to play, and we'll see how they do.
Something to keep an eye out. Princeton coming out in a 2-3 zone. Columbia actually last couple games have not played zone, so interested to see how that plays out.
I actually will correct you there. They did in the last game play against a little bit of 3-2 zone from the University of Maryland Lowenstein team, but we didn't see any 2-3, so we'll see how that works going into this game.
Top of the key to Cohen. Back out to the wing.
Over to Drupkin. Drupkin going in. Looks for the elbow, Jay.
And hits it.
Go.
Great shooting so far by Princeton. That was the key to the game. They needed to hit their shots if they wanted to compete, and they are. Not to mention, they've been physical, and they've been able to hold Columbia to 0 points so far in the first couple of minutes of the opening game.
Let's see Columbia try and run maybe a set over here, maybe some of their set plays. Try and get it in, a good easy bucket to the inside towards Spear. We got Andrew Stein in the corner.
In the
Dribbles it
2-5,
out.
in the 2-3, we have Wingren really just sticking to Jesse Spear, really making sure he doesn't get the ball out on the inside there.
Oh, totally, and that's got to be a key to the game. As
Banks
the bank
in the
three. I'll tell you, Banks open on Sunday, Easter Sunday that be. The bank stays open for Justin Ordway.
And you see the fans really getting excited about that shot.
I'll tell you, that's one thing that I've loved about the Columbia team is they travel really well. I mean, these fans have been all over it all tournament. They've got the signs. They've got the pom-poms. I mean, they love it here, and the players love having them.
And that's the environment of NHBT. Really just fun. Everyone really happy to be here. Everyone rooting for their school. Great sportsmanship as well. It's really just so special.
Truthfully, as Davis misses the layup and Columbia takes it back down. Over to Adler. He wants the three. Not going to take it. He gets it out of the corner over to Stein. Stein back to Adler. Over to Ordway. Ordway, he'll take another three.
Bank it in again.
Oh, almost gets the second bank to go.
Spear almost got that offensive rebound.
Yeah, and look for Weber to check in now on the sideline.
I bet
that's
he's
just
going to be on
make
Spear.
Spear's life tougher.
That's a great matchup.
Oh.
A tough
Ordway
shot.
goes down.
Like we said, it's going to be a physical game. Columbia known to be a very physical team. Princeton has to match that, and they have so far. As we can see, maybe a little too aggressive there.
A little, I'm going to disagree with you there. There's no such thing as too aggressive. You want to come out and you want to show them who's boss.
All right. And, I guess the refs agree with you as they call it a blocking foul there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens as inbound it to Davis. Jacob Davis, Ramaz Rams alumni. Over to Cohen. Cohen inside.
Tax.
It's Tax, number 2.
A little bit of contact. Happy no with the no call there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's been interesting to watch this Ivy League championship. Truly the epitome of student athletes. They do it in the classroom. They do it on the court. As Adler drives it in, kicks it to Stein in the corner. Stein back over to Adler on the wing.
Look at the battle down low with
Surveys
Jesse
the court.
Spear.
And this 2-3 from Princeton just will not break as Holzhauer goes for the 3. Can't get it to go. And, I mean, it's interesting that Princeton came out in this 2-3 because we mentioned Columbia shot the lights out in their semifinal game. So to come out in the 2-3, sort of dare them to shoot, I mean, that's kind of a crazy move, but
I think the idea is to get rid of the ball movement. A lot of the ball movement last game was coming from the middle. Jesse Spear being able to facilitate there. If they get rid of them as a facilitator, they feel like they can close out.
100%. And here we have Weber on the inside going against Spear for the first time.
Great couple
Gets
of moves
inside,
there.
kicks it out to Drupkin. Drupkin looks to drive. Won't, gives it back over to Cohen. And Cohen will throw it back to the top to Drupkin to reset.
I think Princeton's fine taking their time here. I don't think they're in any rush.
And the steal by Holzhauer.
Great defense there.
We got Ordway coming down the floor. Loses
control. Princeton with the steal. See if they can capitalize on the turnover.
We will truly see.
Great pass to Cohen in the corner.
The pump fake.
And hits it.
Cohen, baby.
Shooting lights out yet again. 10-3 to start. The run that nobody saw coming to start this game. Princeton in control so far.
Truthfully, it's a blackout shooter right there, that guy Cohen. Lights are out. As the bucket, who got that bucket? I must have missed it. My bad on the stream.
As now Princeton brings up the ball to the wing. Trying to feed it in down low. Not available there. Justice Spear with good defense. Trying again to find it down low. No, not available for three. No good.
The board goes to Holzhauer.
Aggressive on against the board right away. You see Princeton really just attacking the ball as soon as they get it. I feel like if they can irritate them enough, maybe they'll be able to steal it. And so far, it's been playing out.
You know, this is what they tell you growing up in basketball. You got to be a squirrel, not a bush. You know, bushes don't move. Squirrels are always on the move. You got to be a squirrel.
Let's see if they can keep that up. I think that would be the key.
The
so
steal
far.
goes to Davis. Oh, but actually, it's going to be a jump.
Jump ball. Staying with Columbia here.
Again, the scrappiness of this Princeton team. You see Davis diving on the floor for that ball. You know, that's what Coach Scott Ferguson stresses of his Ramaz players. So good to see Jacob Davis continuing that into his collegiate ball playing days.
Interesting play. Interesting call here by the referees. They're saying that Columbia actually won the tip when it went out of bounds. Remember, we saw it. We thought it was out on. We thought Princeton had won the tip and they lost control and it went out of bounds. Referees here saying actually Columbia did, and that's why Princeton is awarded the ball here after that jump ball.
Interesting.
Cohen at the top of the key with the pass. Down low, finds open man, draws the foul. Great find inside there.
Can't get it to go.
Now here's something that I've noticed a lot, Izzy. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Let me hear.
The running clock during fouls is really hurting the losing teams.
I mean, this is something that comes into play, and it's a strategy game. I think these Ivy League schools definitely know that strategy comes into play in these kind of games. And, you know, if you're the winning team, if you're Princeton right now, you're taking your time on these free throws.
1,000%.
Let some time run off the clock.
It's already been about 25 seconds since the foul call. Only one free throw done so far.
25 seconds. Only one free throw done. He's embellishing himself at the lines. You know, we talk a little bit about Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's had his issues, with taking too long at the foul line, that 10-second call. So maybe something like that needs to be put in play for this running clock.
I noticed last game in the women's final, in the women's Tier 1 championship, they actually used subs during the timeouts to waste more time. Interesting choice there. Good strategy.
Enough.
You know, and in a tournament like this where it's so competitive, the competition is so fierce, you have to use a little bit of strategy, even if it's like maybe taking advantage of the rules a little bit.
Just a little bit, Kenner. Anyone?
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick, Deflategate. I know Spear doesn't like hearing that, being from Boston. But luckily he's playing. He can't hear us.
You know, Cohen with the ball at the top. Really conducting this offense right now. Telling people where to go, trying to find the open lanes. Look at them cut inside as well. You know, Columbia's playing this aggressive man that's a little bit of backdoor cuts. Interested to see how that plays out in the future. You know, aggressive defense, gets the steal, jump ball.
That's Ordway, and Ordway's been a spark plug over the course of this game. He's
been a glue guy so far. He really has been.
More than a glue guy. He's a bona fide stud, this guy Ordway. We're going to, they call him the Lions for a reason. And, this Columbia team, they're brave like lions. Down 5. They don't look phased at all. At all. Stoic, one might say.
The live line currently Columbia -7.5.
Columbia -7.5, still favored. Interesting to see that Vegas is still a believer in this Columbia team even after their slow start.
Look at that, again, that 2-3 really working out well for them so far.
Yeah, and I would expect to see some more shooting as Ordway can't get that one to go.
Great rebound
to Princeton. Taking the ball up the court is
he's going to push.
Drupkin.
Lots of contact, no foul call, and they call it and one. Wow.
That was a little bit of a late call there.
Princeton really
just to go.
Nobody saw Princeton being the more aggressive, more physical team to start this game, and look at them now. So impressive to see, and really so curious if they're able to maintain that throughout the game to be able to win this.
Something to look for is them embellishing their time on these free throws. And if you're Columbia, you kind of want to hurry it up. Maybe try and get this game tied up by halftime, and then see what you can do in the second half.
Close set offensive rebounding there. Speedy point guard. Looking to maybe attack. Passes it back out to Jesse Spear at the top of the key. See, interesting.
Spear's got a good matchup here. He kicks it out to Adler. Watch him shoot it. And he can hit those.
Bang.
Larry Bird. It's Irish Spring Green out here.
And that's what the 2-3 was trying to prevent. The 2-3 was trying to prevent getting Jesse on the inside to be able to pass it out. And because he took it so far up and then moved in, he was able to do that. A way to maybe beat that 2-3 that they're going to try to approach in the future.
It's true. I think taking that kind of inside-out approach to beating this 2-3 is what they got to do. As both layups cannot go for Princeton. The rebound goes to Holzhauer, who gives it over to Adler.
In order to beat this Columbia team, you got to capitalize on the second chance opportunities there.
And let's look to see Spear on the inside. Oh,
wow. An athletic drive.
Yeah. Looked like a gymnast there, Mr. Eric Adler.
Princeton able to get the stop and come back down on the wing. Again, look at the fight down there with Jesse.
Over
Top
to
of the
Davis.
for three.
Davis for
Davis.
3.
Just off. Columbia now looking to push.
And if I'm Columbia, I want to be pushing in this game. You know, they've definitely slowed you down in this 2-3.
And they're allowing
Spear,
Jesse to get inside.
The soft touch, just not enough.
Wow.
Maybe a little too soft touch.
Columbia maybe going to run into some foul trouble here already. You're going to have 4 fouls.
You know, and that's definitely something to keep an eye on, especially if Spear starts to pick up too many fouls. You know, that could be an issue. But, you know, here with 6 minutes left in the first half, you know, before this game, if somebody told you that Princeton's up 4, you know, what do you think?
If I'm Princeton, I'm happy right now if I'm up 4 and going into this matchup. Before we continue with play, we're going to take a quick second to hear a word from our sponsor. This broadcast is brought to you by American High. American High is a production company that focuses on creating high school comedies. Why high school comedies? Simple, because it's one of the only shared experiences we all go through. It's where every challenge feels like life and death, where every victory is the greatest accomplishment. It's a world of firsts. It's where you discover who you are. American High has made award-winning films such as The Binge, Banana Split, Big Time Adolescence, and The Ultimate Playlist of Noise. Don't have time for these long films? Try the shorts. Daily sketches about all things high school. I'll tell you, after this broadcast, I can't wait to go back home and watch some American High films.
Yeah, you know, I can't wait either. I hear, you know, after watching the NHBT broadcast here on ESPN 8, The Ocho, we're ready to go watch some American High. And I'll tell you, Coach over here looking at his Columbia team, he's telling them, you know, like the second French horn in the school band, you got to play better.
And let's see what happens. I'm so curious what they do out of this timeout, see if they can regroup, if they can re-strategize, and how they're able to implement that new strategy that they just created.
We truly will see. And something to bring up about this Columbia team, and I know we've talked about them a bunch, but we'll keep doing it a little bit because that's what we're dealing as commentators. But a little bit something
and look at
note,
that, they're coming out in a press.
Out in the full court press, but in one of their first games, they played University of Stony Brook. Can you guess the score? 100-2.
Wow.
Everybody went nuts when that 2 got scored.
Wow. A powerful move inside.
That's Weber. Distant relative of Chris Weber.
To the corner, to the top, Jesse.
Over to Asler. Oh, you want to see Asler shoot that if you're Columbia, I feel like. You know, he's a great shooter. All the way over to Spear. Spear for 3.
Just off.
Just against
rebound Princeton. Fun fact about Adler, I actually talked to one of his high school friends. Said in high school, he wasn't the player that he is today. Said really most of his skills were built after high school. A very unique experience.
Interesting. You know, player development is really at the forefront of this Hillel basketball tournament. So, you know,
Cohen
great to see.
Drills a 3.
Who else?
Who else but Cohen? He's been on fire throughout the day and throughout this tournament. So impressive to see.
You know, we saw Oakland's run against when they beat Kentucky. That guy, Golke, you remember? As Holzhauer knocks down the 3. A little shooting contest here. But, you know, Cohen reminds me a little of Golke. This guy can shoot the ball. I hear the Warriors are looking at giving him a 10-day.
Cohen or Golke?
Both.
Wow, questionable foul call. Again, you know, I think the late calls are always a little bit of controversial calls. I'm so curious what your thoughts are on if you think the late calls are the right move, or if you're going to call it, you should just call it right away.
You know, ideally you would call it right away, but you got to give a little leeway to these Maryland refs, you know, just some college students looking to make a little side money. It's like the sports staff at camp, you know. You like to yell at them and argue with them. They're not great refs, but, you know, that's what you got.
We appreciate the university giving them to us and being able and really sponsoring the refs. They've been really so helpful. Spent hours with us. With the steal now.
Holzhauer a little behind the back. He should have just shot that. But outside to Adler. Score is 15-11 as that goes to Spear. Spear gives it to Ordway. Ordway for three.
Off. Rebound Cohen.
This is that one inside to Weber. Weber over to Drupkin.
4-point game here, about just under 4 minutes left in the half. Really been an exciting match. And this is what it's all about. The excitement, everything going into this championship, and now the fight. And I cannot wait to see how the rest of this game plays out.
I truly cannot wait to see how the rest of this game plays out. It's been, a pleasure to watch some good ball so far. It's been a quick game. And we have Davis with the ball, takes it to the hoop. Looks for the
finds
cutting.
open Cutter. A lot of contact, and they get the foul call.
There.
And now that's 6 fouls on Columbia.
And
one
that
more,
is going to be number 5, Luke Wingreen.
Wingreen had a physical attack earlier and was able to really get to the key. And you see him again, just really attacking the inside. Something that we didn't expect happening from Princeton in this game. We didn't see it in the previous game in the semifinals. And we knew that Columbia was a very aggressive team and very physical. So it's interesting to see him attack this game. Meanwhile, the first free throw goes in.
Princeton, they're like a volcano. They're like lava. They're coming out hot. But they got to make sure to be unlike lava in the sense that once they're out here, once they're going, that they're not going to cool down.
With that sub.
That's how the islands of Hawaii were made.
With that sub, now before second free throw even goes in, which it does, it was a total of 45 seconds from that foul call.
Again, we keep bringing it up. Something to watch out for, and I'm sure that there are some other teams penciling in that strategy for next year's tournament.
Looking for the inside again. Oh, great steal.
The steal. That's going to be Wingreen again.
Oh, behind the back pass
over
a
to
little
Drupkin.
Careless.
Drupkin over to Cohen. He wants the shot.
Yeah, he does.
Cohen back over to Drupkin. Drupkin looks inside and won't make the pass. Takes it out. He's going to reset a little. Gets the screen from Wingreen. Drupkin back out to Cohen. Cohen
from a 2.
And I'll tell you, with these guys from Princeton, they're math geniuses. You think they know analytics a little better. That 1 foot inside the arc shot, not quite my favorite.
Let's see if that coach agrees with you there.
Yeah, head coach, not sure what his name is, but he came down to, I think he might be a parent of somebody on the team.
He had a fiery national anthem performance.
A very fiery national anthem performance. I've seen a lot of national anthems in my life, but none quite like that one.
It was special. It was a father-son duo. I saw the mom crying, so prideful.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, whether it comes to basketball, whether it comes to singing. We've seen a lot of dynamic duos, and I'm sure, 20 years down the line, there will be some second-generation National Hillel basketball players, and maybe even some whose parents met at the National Hillel basketball tournament.
20 years from now, we're going to be seeing
maybe
25 years from now, we're going to be seeing a Cohen. We're going to be seeing a Cohen drilling threes like nobody's business.
At that point, the range will be so unlimited. You see kids these days pulling up from half court, and Cohen Jr. will just be pulling up from half court.
Meanwhile, yet another foul against Columbia. That's 7 fouls in the half against Columbia.
And since we are inside 1 minute, the clock will stop as these free throws are shot.
First one goes in. Columbia's been shooting. Princeton's had some pretty nice foul shooting so far. Really capitalizing on their opportunities.
Yeah, and, for me, looking at this game, it's all about coming out ready. And I think maybe Columbia, having won those few games earlier, by such a great margin of victory, they might have come out, a little cocky. Not too cocky, but, definitely now realizing that they may have their hands full with this Princeton Tiger squad.
Interesting, though, Ordway has 3 fouls already. Holzhauer already has 2.
Wow. Look for that to play a difference.
We saw that play a difference in the
half.
Tier 2 championship. Elliot Sokol fouling out, unfortunately, with time to spare. And really, that plays a difference on morale as well.
You're going to miss Elliot Sokol no matter whether you're playing basketball or no matter whether you're, just away from.
Really, again, Spear trying to get the ball inside, but just don't feel like they could get into him. A floater
And
just
if
long.
I'm Columbia, I wonder whether their coach is going to make some plays about this in the second half. But I would be looking to get the 3-ball going from Adler. He's only hit 1 so far, maybe shot 1 or 2. So, you know, against this 2-3, you definitely think you can find a way to get some open 3-point looks. So I would, you know, going into the second half, we've got about 13 seconds left in this one. That's something that I would definitely look for.
Just under 8 seconds left now. Princeton with the ball at the top of the key. Tries to drive in. Takes contact. No foul call to the wing. 3, no good. 1 second. Shots up and no good.
Ooh, a close one from Adler to end off the half. We'll go to the break now for a message from our sponsors. No good. Oh, wait. It goes in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of the Tier 1 Men's Championship. We have a great game so far, Princeton versus Columbia. Princeton has actually been commanding the game despite popular belief that Columbia would be. Princeton has been shooting the lights out, especially by Cohen. And have had a great strategy to try to slow down this Columbia team, especially by preventing Jesse Spear from getting the ball inside.
It's true. This 2-3 has been a truly, remarkable strategy against this Columbia team. But again, I look for this Columbia team to start hitting some threes, maybe getting hot in the second half. Nothing comes easy to them anymore. They're ready to play.
An 8-point game, with 18 minutes left to play. We are in for a great one. I can't wait for Columbia to heat up, Princeton to try fighting them off, Princeton to heat up, Columbia to try fighting them off. We are in for really just such an exciting match. We feel the energy in the building. Fans are excited. It's getting crazy.
Wow, a definitely crazy game here. And if you're as well tuned into, the Tennessee versus Purdue game, the lesser March Madness, then that's another crazy game that's going on right now. Another orange team trying to pull out a win. We got the Princeton Tigers inbounding the ball. And a fun fact about Princeton and Jewish basketball, last year during their March Madness run, one of their star players, Blake Peters, a proud Jew, who almost saw Captain Jacob Davis was telling me that he was trying to recruit Blake Peters to come over here and play a little ball in this tournament. I'm sure Peters.
Oh, a great find inside.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat, great find inside. Princeton really wants this championship, and I can feel it.
Columbia cannot be happy about that.
Let's see what they do now to try to combat this deadly 2-3 zone.
Here comes Holzhauer for three.
No good.
That one won't go.
A
Spear
great tap.
taps it away. And we're going to have Drapkin coming down the floor. The point guard, Drapkin, have been having an absolutely unbelievable tournament, averaging a little over 12 points a game. And, in these running clocks, short half games, 12 points per game is, pretty impressive. I wonder, maybe he's going to lock up for himself today a top spot in the first team All-NHBT.
And right away, we have a foul against Columbia. And remember, last half, Columbia had 7 fouls by the end of it, leading Princeton to a 1-1 situation. Columbia cannot fall into that trap here, especially with how the clock runs, especially with how they're down right now.
For sure. The fouls have been a real issue for Columbia. And I'm telling you, you lose a guy like Holzhauer's got 2 already. You lose him. That could be a big loss for this Columbia team. So, they need to make sure to be poised and to make good decisions, not get frazzled at all.
There's a massive battle happening right now down low between Spear and Weber. Love to see them. Really just a battle of will right now.
Drapkin outside to Weber. He'll take a 3.
A 3 for Weber.
Won't go. No rebound to Adler. He'll look up towards Spear. Spear to Holzhauer.
Great ball movement, but cannot
Now it's going to go out of bounds. It's going to stay here with the Lions. And I'll tell you, Nathan, it's been an absolute treat to watch this kind of ball this weekend. Just high-level basketball, high-level Mitos as well.
Really?
As Andrew Stein tries for the corner 3. He's fouled
on the 3. That right there could be the shift in momentum that Columbia needed to take over.
And I'll tell you, they call the end one the old-fashioned three-point play. Well, this foul on 3 is the even older-fashioned three-point play.
Let's see if he can hit all 3 here. I think if he can, we could be talking a huge shift in momentum.
A huge shift. Lead at 10 right now as he misses the
first.
And, it's tough to balance wanting to get that shot off quick with the running shot clock, but as well, want to make it, take your time.
You can definitely tell that that's something that in the locker room they discuss, as it is a quick, as soon as he gets the ball, 2 seconds, then go. And you see him asking for the ball already. Misses the second one. Wow, great offensive rebound, but he misses the putback. Got to capitalize on those second chance opportunities.
And
now Princeton bring down the ball.
A little smile there from Drapkin. He's starting to feel it.
Finds the
look
ball
at
down
Spear and Weber fighting it down low.
Unable to get his look.
I wonder if where Weber played his most high-level ball, because I know Spear played at Brandeis last year.
Really?
For the judges. Roll dice.
Now Drapkin again.
Drapkin
nice
again.
layup. very physical against a very physical Columbia team.
Very physical Columbia team. We've got Adler here coming down, kicks it over to Ordway. Ordway across to Stein. Stein back to Adler. He wants a three, won't take it. We'll take a break here.
Goes
Kicks
inside.
Little kick ball, catches it back. Stein
I can't
over
believe they
to
didn't call it.
Spear. Spear back to Stein. Stein for three.
Banks it
The
in.
bank is open for this Columbia team today. And, you know, seeing that three bank in, on one hand you're happy it went in, but on the other hand you feel a little off. You know, it's like seeing your mother-in-law drive off a cliff in a Cadillac. You got mixed feelings.
I feel like Columbia's just really trying to brag that Banks view them as a target school.
Yeah, you know, that's what they do. They come and flex on us down here in Maryland.
Wow,
As
Drapkin.
The jumper goes for Drapkin. He's
so
having a great
impressive
day.
today.
10-point game. As Ordway goes inside, he'll take the floater, won't go. Rebound to Greenhill.
Drapkin with 12 points, Cohen with 11 points. You can really tell where the scoring is coming from, considering that it's 23 of their 25 points.
Wow, you know, it's incredible. These are some top-tier talents.
No, Cohen with the ball at
And
the
that's
top
why
of the
they're
key.
playing in Division I championship.
Pass it back out.
to Davis.
See
Davis
them taking their
over
time.
to
No rush here.
Drapkin inside to Weber, distant relative of Chris Weber.
Very
Weber
distant.
with some fancy footwork, but the block goes to
Draws
Spear.
the foul. Frustration in Columbia. Disagree with the call.
I don't know about that one, Doug.
Listen, they're playing a very physical game. I'm not sure with the way that they've been playing, if you could call that foul.
You know, I am personally a proponent of when in doubt, let the players play.
I agree. And meanwhile, now, clock's ticking. 10-point game. 12 and a half minutes left.
Yeah, and,
It's
you
the first
know,
one.
look to this Columbia team maybe starting to get a little frustrated at this point. Down 11, you know, I think they need to remember this is not, you know, this is not something you can take back in one play.
Absolutely
It's
not.
a sustained effort that you need to start from one possession, and it starts, I'll tell you one thing, it starts on the defensive end. You know, you can take as many shots as you want, but in order to get a run out here, you're going to need to stop Princeton on the defensive end as Ordway gets it inside to Spear. Spear back out to Adler,
Wow.
but it's
Tipped away.
stolen by
3-on-1.
Cohen. Cohen for
Cohen.
the layup.
Wow, an
Gets it to
aggressive
go.
attack, and he gets it to go. So impressive. Cohen, and we have Cohen and Drapkin, a dynamic duo with the help of Weber down low as well. It's been so special to watch.
Yeah, Ordway tries for the
Wow.
acrobatic layup
A really nice
and
toilet
clean
bowl
up
there.
on aisle 5, Mr. Caleb Olzauer.
Really nice toilet bowl there.
Really nice there. And, you know, if we were on the southern hemisphere, I was actually in Argentina a little bit earlier this year, then that toilet bowl would actually spin the other way.
Really?
Yeah, including in basketball. You know, if you shoot that and it's spinning around, it spins towards the right in the northern hemisphere and towards the left in the southern hemisphere.
Fascinating.
Not just in toilets, but also in basketball.
Fascinating. Now Drapkin
True.
at the top of the key. Tags in. Has a man in the corner. Decides not to go there. Passes it back out to the top of the key. Back to Cohen on the wing. That's his spot. Doesn't hit it. Columbia now gets the ball. Attacks.
Looking to push.
Realizing
comes
that they're
Adler.
down. Got to get some momentum going. Attacking. No
Can't
good.
get the layup to go. As Ordway on the ground looking for the steal. That ball's
And-
going to be staying with Princeton in this 11-point game.
Got to respect the hustle there by Ordway.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, you know, this just goes to show how much some of these players want it, how much they're willing to just, you know, put their bodies on the line when it comes down to it. They do it for their teammates. They do it for the love of the game. And, of course, they do it for their school pride. As Weber dribbles the ball down the court, some sneaky handles out of the big man as he looks to get inside
Oh,
the
a
spin.
nice spin move.
Out
Pass
to
it back out.
Drapkin, back inside to Weber. Weber with Spear guarding him, the marquee matchup of tonight. As the
And there's the
Ordway is
delayed whistle
not
again.
happy about that one. That's going to be his 4th foul. So, you know, if you're Ordway, you might be a little nervous going into the rest of it. We got 10 minutes left to play. He's got 4 fouls, I believe. Yeah, 4 fouls. Just check the stat sheet. So, you know, one more, he's done.
Crazy.
So
And that's a key play. That's a key player.
it's a
for
key
them.
playmaker. So, you know, you lose Ordway, and this game, you know, could get out of hand.
And there's his first bucket of the day. Great shot. Really like to see that team getting together now. Ben Zenker with a great shot. averaging about 6 points per game, and that's his first one right now.
Oh, for sure. And alongside me right now, watching the game with us, we have special guest Levi Stein, player for the Michigan team. Levi, what happened to the Michigan team? Why are you guys not playing in this game?
Bennett Stein
honest,
drills a
Just
3.
tough out there. Lost in double OT in the first round of the playoffs. You hate to see it, but we put up a good fight, and we'll be back next year. You just wait and see.
Smells like excuses. Nothing but excuses for Levi Stein. But we'll see what he can put together next year. One of the best shooters in this tournament. A favorite to win the three-point contest.
Meanwhile, a key 3 for Bennett Stein puts it in the 10-point game now. But Drapkin hits it back. Unbelievable playmaking between Drapkin and Cohen today in this game. Love to see it if you're Princeton. You're feeling the momentum. You're feeling good about your shot. You're feeling good on defense. And you feel like you have the game in your hands.
And Ordaway going to look towards a 3. Gets it inside to Adler. Nice pass to the inside. Adler gets it. And again, this, if you want to run to start, it's got to be on the defensive end. They're starting to score now on the offensive side. But, if you can't get some stops and get this to be a closer game, you're not going to get much.
We thought it was really just Cohen and Drapkin, and then 2 possessions ago we saw Zenker hit a shot. So, you try locking down those 2 guys, you leave the other guys open, and it's dangerous because those other guys still can play.
Yeah, this is a Princeton team that runs 6 deep, and 6 deep doesn't sound like a lot, but there's only 6 players on their team, so, it does run pretty deep.
Yes, it does.
A lot of bench depth, on this Princeton team because, everybody on the bench plays.
Meanwhile, Princeton with the timeouts, we're going to take this moment to hear a quick message from our sponsor. This broadcast is brought to you by American High. American High is a production company that focuses on creating high school comedies. Why high school comedies? Simple, because it is one of the only shared experiences we all go through. It's where every challenge feels like life and death, where every victory is the greatest accomplishment. It's a world of firsts. It's where you discover who you are. American High has made award-winning films such as The Binge, Banana Split, First Time Adolescence, and The Ultimate Playlist of Noise. Don't have time for these long films? Try the shorts. Daily sketches about all things high school.
And I'll tell you, talking about American High reminds me of that Key and Peele sketch where they're in the math classroom talking about the hypotenuse. And I'll tell you, Doug, I wish I was American High on hypotenuse.
Coming out of this timeout, Princeton called the timeout. Actually, interesting because now you're giving the Columbia coach a time to really strategize with his team and figure out, okay, 11-point game, about 8 minutes left. How can we come back? And there is the time for the comeback. It's just a matter of putting it together.
It's 8 minutes. 8 minutes.
8 minutes. That's 8.
Oh. Davis looks for 3. Won't go.
Great rebound
to Weber.
And there is the battle we've been talking about all day.
Strong play from Weber as he gets it back out to Cohen. Over to Drapkin. Drapkin looks to take one-on-one on Ordaway. Drapkin going to pull it out. Gets the screen from Weber. Drapkin. Can't get much. Gets it to Cohen.
Cohen for 3. Money. Unbelievable. He cannot be stopped.
And I'll tell you, we
steal.
We sometimes call Cohen Jeff Bezos because he's money.
He is money.
We call him the Federal Reserve because he just prints money.
Smart foul there by Columbia to prevent the fast break. But at the same time, clock just ticks from that foul.
The clock ticks as Ordaway comes to go face guard Michael Drapkin.
Weber now taking his time at the top. He's going to give it to top of the key. Drapkin with the ball.
Truly.
To the corner.
Davis.
Back to Cohen. Cohen loses control of the ball, fights for it. And they're going to call out him.
That is going to be Columbia ball as they look to inbound
was out off in Columbia,
with the
so
running
he didn't
clock.
go and get it. Instead, it goes out on him, and now it's Columbia ball.
Columbia ball with a little over 6 minutes to play.
This is the time where they need to start hitting their
Down
shots.
14.
14.
Here comes Adler.
6.5
over
left.
to Holzhauer for 3.
No good.
Rebound goes
Spear
to
with the
Spear.
ball.
He
Foul
gets
call.
fouled. He'll go to the line.
And now the clock ticks.
The clock
at 6:30.
continues to tick as these free throws are shot. Now, Jesse Spear has been an incredible player for as long as I can remember. A longtime bunkmate of mine in Camp Mosheva IO. Yes. Shout out to Ada Gimel B20, Ada Dalid B1. You know, boys bunks, having a good time. And I'll tell you, back in leagues, this guy used to tear up Him and a good friend of mine, Henry Mann, used to be, they would always battle it out as the two best players in the division and in the ADA, some might say. And so, it's good to see he's continued his basketball prowess. We watched this Columbia team play against the Maryland team in the semifinals, and that was a rematch of the Saturn tournament finals between Mosheva with Jesse Spear and Camp La Vie with Spencer Rubenstein.
Wow. Meanwhile, Spear went 1 for 2 from the free throw line, giving Princeton now the time. They had a little bit of a press going, and now Princeton beat it and is just taking their time. And he loses control of the ball.
Oh,
they
the
say
ball
it
is
was
gonna
kicked.
stay with Princeton.
And you see them taking their time to get the ball in bounds. Really just realizing that the game is in their control at this point.
For all those tuning in, feel free to hit the comment box with any questions or concerns or even keys to the game that you think might be helpful, as the long 2 for...
Wow, what a board.
And that foul is going to go on Ordaway, I think, and that's going to be his 5th. And
is that on Ordaway or is it on Spear?
Oh, they're going to put that one on Spear. A lucky break for Ordaway.
Wow, so impressive today by Weber. Really surprising. So nice to see him play so well. Spear is a tough matchup. And he draws a foul there. Oh, and he is frustrated. Understandably so, but can't let your frustration take over.
A frustrating game for Spear. And, Nathan, before this game, we set the over-under. Do you remember what our over-under line was?
86.5.
86.5. And with 4 minutes to go, the under's looking pretty good.
It is looking good. I'll tell you what was really good.
I'll tell you, if you guys are on DraftKings or FanDuel, you can find NHPT betting under the miscellaneous section.
I'll tell you what's really nice, though, the Princeton plus 7.5.
Princeton plus,
Princeton money line at plus 180.
I'm sure there's a lucky fan out there who took Princeton money line. And, let's hope there's no bad beats today.
I saw someone actually laid the Duke money line along with the Princeton money line, which was plus 250, a great bet for that one player.
A great bet, indeed. I wonder what they're looking at now. Vegas could lose a lot on this Princeton team.
Adler at the elbow.
With Ordaway. Ordaway inside, over to
Looking to the
Olzauer.
corner for
Stein for 3.
short.
Thought he got a piece of his hand in there. Maybe got blocked, maybe got fouled. Not sure. As Cohen
See him
with the
trying to
ball.
press now.
Drapkin.
And he's fouled.
And that's going to be a 10-second violation.
Wow.
Some great defense from the Columbia Lions.
The first 10-second violation of the tournament comes at a crucial time for Columbia.
A crucial time, but down 15, you wonder if this might be a case of too little, too late.
It might be, especially with how the clock doesn't stop
if
till
this
under a
Columbia
minute.
team wants to win it all, it's got to come right now.
Interesting by the officials here, wasting valuable time to switch sides to inbound the play. Look at the officials now getting some slack. Towards the elbow. Wow, a lot of contact there. No call at all. Interesting. Oh, and more contact down below. No calls for anything. More fouls without any calls, and it's staying with Columbia.
It'll stay with Columbia, and, look at Princeton to sort of hold the ball a little here. Columbia, no inbounder, and that's going to affect them when it comes to this clock. Spear looks for the 3, won't get it to go. Ordaway the deep triple, won't go.
No good.
Here comes
Going
Cohen over to Drapkin.
The dynamic duo.
Drapkin can't get it to go. It's going to go off out of Ordaway.
Staying with Princeton. Kicks the ball off the wall, wasting more time for them. I think at this point, if I'm Princeton, I'm feeling very confident. I'm feeling very happy. Now, all of my hard work from this tournament is about to pay off.
And maybe some reality starting to set in for these Columbia Lions. You look at some long faces over on the bench, and coming into this game, nobody really thought Princeton was all that good, but here they are, making a name for themselves. The and one goes for Andrew Stein.
That's my second cousin.
That is Levi Stein's second cousin.
And
Levi
Columbia's now
Stein
gonna
sitting
call a timeout.
right next to us. A good timeout from Columbia, if you ask me, because, again, running clock. But, again, a case of maybe too little, too late, as Coach draws up some plays in the huddle.
If you
He's
feel like your
gonna
life
give
has
some
been too little,
advice.
too late, you can always relive your high school days. American High is our sponsor of this broadcast. American High is a production company that focuses on creating high school comedies. Why high school comedies? Simple, because it is one of the only shared experiences we go through. It is where every challenge feels like life and death, and where every victory is the greatest accomplishment. It's a world of firsts. It's where you discover who you are. American Eye has made award-winning films such as The Binge, Banana Split, Big Time Adolescence, and the ultimate playlist of noise. Don't have time for these long films? Try the shorts, daily sketches about all things high school. As we'll go into the last minute 40 of this game, Princeton has control of the game. Reality setting in for Columbia. You see players that maybe wore headbands on the bench of Columbia taking off their headbands, long faces. We see Princeton excited, added a random bench player to their bench.
I'll tell you, there's one guy who is not taking off his headband on this Columbia team, and that is Elisha Baker. Alicia, another kid camp friend of mine, and he a great author for the Columbia newspaper, has written some incredible articles on anti-Semitism.
I'm curious, you talk about a lot about your camp friends and how they're doing in the tournament. How are you in camp with your ball?
Incredible. I mean, there hasn't been anybody like me since. It's been a problem for Mosheva. They're trying to get some campers.
You were the Mosheva Moses Malone?
That and then some.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Mosheva's been trying to bring in a basketball player of that caliber, but they're having a hard time. There might not be any in existence.
Stein hits his free throw.
They tried to get Wemby, actually, but it just didn't.
It wouldn't even compare to you, though.
I mean, yeah, I think it would be a good game.
Wemby
and 8 olive leagues.
About a minute 30 left. Cohen with the ball. Back to Drapkin at the top. Back to Cohen. Taking their time. Columbia's not going to foul.
Smiles on the Princeton bench.
You could hear the fans getting excited. They're getting ready for the trophy celebration. The champagne is being put into the locker rooms. They're getting all the plastic all around. People are getting ready.
And a Columbia crowd that has been so vocal all tournament. We've been talking time and time again about how they travel so well. A lot of long faces. Maybe they're a little tired. They're ready to hit the train, get back to the city. But, a tough loss for this Columbia team that has been so good all tournament. And it reminds me maybe a little bit of Gonzaga. Gonzaga comes into the tournament every year, and they just have a tough time having not faced that same kind of competition. So maybe this Columbia team, blowing out a lot of teams by 20.
I wonder if the competition in the semifinals played into this. Columbia looked a little sluggish right now. Maybe that has to do with their tough matchup.
I actually think that matchup was, an incredible game. And you're right. Maybe that got them a little tired for this game. But again, maybe a cocky attitude coming in could have done them in. It's tough. It's tough. And, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. We talk about it time and time on this court. And people come into these tournaments believing in themselves, wanting to believe that they can do so, that they can achieve anything. And truly, you can achieve anything. Just ask this Princeton Tigers team.
We get a foul call now. Columbia's going to shoot 2 free throws with 35 and a half left. Looking at the Princeton score sheet, Cohen with 16 points, 5 rebounds. Drapkin with 15 points, 3 rebounds. Weber with 3 points, 6 rebounds. And Zenker with 2 points, 3 rebounds. Really a phenomenal performance from that team.
It's a team effort. Told you they were on 6 deep. They were on 7 deep. Look at their coach. He's got a jersey on. He's ready to sub it.
Andrew Stein with 10 points for Columbia. He's their leading scorer. Nice effort from him today.
And, I mean, if you would have told me today that Andrew Stein would be the leading scorer for Columbia, nothing against Andrew Stein. He's a good friend of mine, an unbelievable kid, a true mensch. But I think if you asked him, I don't know if he's necessarily the best player on this team. So for Princeton to come out and to make Andrew Stein have to be the guy to beat them, that's just an incredible feat of athleticism, of defense. And, again, nothing against Andrew Stein, an unbelievable player, an unbelievable kid. But, and good for him for having a good game today as well.
Now Columbia fouled again, so Princeton's going to be at the line yet again.
Down 11. And, this Princeton team, they got out to an early lead. And, maybe that's what did Columbia in. They spent this tournament with the majority of the time up in the games. And, they've had a tough time playing from behind today. As Columbia starts to empty their bench. Maybe see some of the guys who haven't gotten the chance to get as many minutes.
Drapkin hits his second free throw. Columbia inbounds the ball.
Ball goes
Pushing
into
the
Holzhauer. Holzhauer for three.
A wild three. Banks it in
bank.
again. That's their third bank three of the game.
Maybe Columbia should look towards the bank a little more going into this game. And the foul goes to Davis. Davis will go to the line trying to get his first points of the day.
10-point game, 26 and a half seconds left.
Jacob Davis lived in the room next to me in Shraga, and, you know,
Wow,
he snored so loud I could hear it through the walls.
deep connections to this game.
I have deep connections to every game. Let me tell you something, Doug. It's all your network is your net worth. All right, you got to know that. Davis misses the first.
Now with 10 fouls, they're at a double bonus. So 2 free throws for every foul.
2 free throws for every foul, and Davis gets the second one to go.
Timeout,
And
Princeton.
timeout for Princeton.
Interesting
Some
timeout.
claps, some excitement. Reality is starting to settle in for both of these
You
teams.
can hear the crowd really just clapping so loud.
Some applause from the Princeton faithful.
And now with this timeout, let's take a moment to hear a message
We
from
don't. we've heard this message from our sponsors, and Doug, tell me a little bit about some of your experiences here at this Hillel tournament. Being here a student at Maryland, tell me about some of the important things that you've seen maybe off the court.
I'll tell you what, I thought Shabbos was beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I thought, we actually
Can't say
had
enough
nice weather. So, you walk outside of the apartments that most people live in, and everyone's just hanging out outside. People are in and out of everyone else's apartments. Your apartment at some point, I'm pretty sure, had like 80 people in it.
Yeah, we accidentally had a lot of people in our apartment.
I hosted a couple meals, got to meet a lot of people, met some really, really interesting people. It was really such a cool experience. And I thought everyone was just so friendly with each other. It's not like basketball is the main part of the Shabbaton, but at the end of the day, it also is a Shabbaton.
Yeah.
People are here to meet friends. People are here to hang out, and it really was just so nice. And, even had people that weren't even competing that were here for the weekend to be able to just enjoy everyone else.
Truly. And, we also have some guests here in the booth. Levi Stein here all the way from Ann Arbor. Levi, can you tell us a little bit about the hospitality that you've received as a guest at the University of Maryland?
I'll tell you, I'm very fortunate. I was offered a space in the hotel with some friends, but I chose to decline to stay with a friend of mine from Yeshiva. His name is Yonatan Cohen. Shout out to Yonatan Cohen. I got to stay at the Domain, neighboring the University of Maryland Hillel, which was an amazing experience for me, the Shabbos, and a very short walk. And the food was spectacular. The chevra was amazing, and Maryland really opened up their homes for us, and it was wonderful. And we hope to return the favor sometime, maybe.
Amen, Levi. I would love to help you return the favor. Maybe make my debut out in Ann Arbor.
I will never step foot in Ann Arbor.
Nate, my co-host here, Nathan Weeder, is from Ohio, so very anti-Michigan. But you listen to that. We have people declining stays in the hotel. The hotel hosts NFL teams for when they play against the Washington Commanders, not the Redskins, the Commanders. And a late foul there for this Columbia team. But, people are passing up 5-star accommodations just to be with their friends. So it goes to show you, just how much people enjoy being at this tournament and how this runs so much bigger than basketball.
6 seconds left for the viewers that are asking.
6 seconds left.
And you can
6 seconds.
You can feel the excitement on Princeton. Everyone is so ready to celebrate what an amazing victory this was and bringing home that trophy to Princeton.
6 seconds until Princeton is cemented into NHBT history. The annals of NHBT
Spur
books
looking to pass it
written with
And
feathers
a timeout
on
by
papyrus.
Timeout by Columbia. It's starting to get a little silly now with all the fouls and timeouts.
And I'll tell you, this is one of the biggest issues with basketball today. Is it's taken us probably almost 10 minutes of real time to get over the last 2 minutes of this game. So, that's something that the NBA is looking to address, something that college basketball is looking to address, and something that we're going to be looking to address here in the NHBT tournament.
If I'm the coach of this Columbia team, if this is an WNCAA game, Are you really taking that time out?
Yeah, 100%.
Down 13 with 5 seconds left.
Let me tell you something. I'm a big fan of comedy movies, and in Dumb and Dumber, they say the chances are 1 to a million. So you're saying there's a chance. There's always a chance, Doug. Maybe
I would venture to say.
No matter how unlikely, in the name of God, and in the name of the Columbia Lions, anything is possible.
Let's see what they have drawn up for this. I mean, the last play of the game, essentially, for Columbia. Let's see what they have drawn up to. Can they get the 13-point shot to tie up the game?
I mean, it's going to be tough.
They pass it in. Top of the key. Shoots. No good. And with that, Princeton are your 2024 NHBT Tier 1 men's champions. They're bringing it home to Princeton after an all-out effort by the incredible team. It's something so special to see here this weekend.
Congratulations to the Princeton team. And I was talking to some of these guys earlier. And, you know, oftentimes when people win a championship, they're going to Disney World. These Princeton guys are going right to the library. They got homework to do.
Wow. So special. It's so special to be here with you, Izzy. Thank you so much for being alongside me. It was such a pleasure.
Great to be here with you, and thank you to all the fans who have tuned in. We will see you at NHBT 2025.